They're talking about the NFL from a different perspective. Game recaps, stats, big plays, predictions, and much more. You're listening to the B&E Podcast with Ed Donaldson and Brandon Simpson.
What's up, everyone? Things are really heating up as we're less than a day away from seeing the remaining 30 teams hit the gridiron. How are you feeling ahead of week one, Brandon?
Excited, especially after Thursday night's game. We thought the Rams would have put up a little bit more effort. So we don't know what to expect come tomorrow. Like so many different games, so many different playoff teams from last year that could come out and lay an egg. So many teams that were in the bottom of their division that can make some noise tomorrow, that have the chance to make some noise tomorrow as well. So, yeah, excited and nervous. What about you?
You know, same. I was just happy to see football back, and I'm glad it's starting up. I like Red Zone has this thing like at the beginning of the season where they start their introduction and everything. And it always makes me feel good because I like Red Zone is a great idea. The person who who created that should get like a Medal of Honor, in my opinion. But yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to week one. Still nervous about my Commanders against the Jaguars, but you know, we'll see what happens. Is there a game you're looking forward to the most?
I really want to see the Giants and the Titans. I know I've talked about, a lot of pressures on Daniel Jones. Obviously, the whole world knows that. They welcome in Brian Daboll, see if he can fix that offense there. And on the other side of the ball, the Titans, they lost their top two receivers. We know Derrick Henry's coming off injury.
Yeah.
How will he, how much of the workload will they put on him starting off? You have the rookie receiver there. And Ryan Tannehill, the pressure's on him too. Both quarterbacks actually got pressure on him. You talk about Malik Willis standing in the background in a sense in Tennessee. Yeah. He played quite well early on. I know against us in the preseason, had a couple big plays. He's going to be a playmaker. So how soon will Mike Vrabel make a switch if Tannehill doesn't get going? But yeah, I think that Giants Titans game in Nashville, I'm very interested in seeing that.
How Saquon looks too. See if he can get back to his form his rookie year. Definitely interesting to see. All right, so let's get our opening drive going. Joe Flacco will be under center Sunday afternoon for the Jets when they host the Ravens. Zach Wilson is still nursing a meniscus tear and bone bruise from the preseason. Flacco was drafted by the Ravens in 2008 and won a Super Bowl with the team. Wilson could be out until week 4. Emmanuel Sanders is retiring from the NFL. The former third-round pick of the Steelers spent 12 seasons in the league. He got a Super Bowl ring with the Denver Broncos back in 2016. Brian Daboll has announced that offensive coordinator Mike Kafka will call plays for the Giants this year. Kafka came over to New York from the Chiefs, where he was the offensive quality control coach. Daboll has been monumental in the development of QB Josh Allen during his time as Buffalo's offensive coordinator. And the Saints are handing out that money, boy. Center Eric McCoy was awarded a 5-year, $63 million contract extension earlier this week. McCoy has been with New Orleans since 2019 when he was drafted in the second round. And let's get to this game last night, Thursday. Bills Mafia, stand up. Y'all really whooped some ass. Your team started the season with a dominating performance in LA Thursday night against the Rams, easily claiming the win of 31-10. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the entire defense sets the tone for Buffalo. Quarterback Matt Stafford was sacked 7 times and threw 3 interceptions as well. Break it down for us from your perspective, Brandon.
Yeah, man. Turnovers was a big thing in this game. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Josh Allen, 2 interceptions. Stafford tossed 3. He had a couple fumbles as well, but I believe they all recovered those. We talk about Brian Daboll in our opening drive. It didn't look like Buffalo missed a beat without him at all. Josh Allen, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had another 56 yards on the ground. The run offense wasn't that much, but between him and Singletary, they finished over 100 yards rushing on the ground. Of course, Stephon Diggs, man, that big play against Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
It was kind of an adjustment, a little bit of luck. I know we was texting during the game. So, yeah, and then he had the touchdown to Gabe Davis, the first touchdown of the game for Buffalo. He just rolled out to the right and just slung it. He was just sitting up in the air. It was like, it was flawless, almost looked like a dream or something,
Definitely
like
a great play.
In a Super Bowl almost. So, yeah, a lot of action there. On the Rams side, Cooper Kupp, he did his thing, but it just wasn't enough. It just, a lot of people after the game were talking about Allen Robinson. I'm sure you want to touch on that because you did mention that last night when we was watching the game. Yeah, I mean, they have some work to do. I think the Rams will get it straight. But as far as this game goes, I did pick the Bills. I didn't obviously think it was going to be this much of a blowout. It did seem like early on when they scored fast, they went up 10-0. They might have been leaning in this direction, but then Los Angeles came back and they tied it at half.
Mm-hmm.
And second half, it was nothing going right for the Rams even more. You talk about Von Miller was getting to the quarterback. Again, he was sacked 7 times. So, he had some insight with that offensive line and everything. Another thing, I was just going to mention the offensive line, Andrew Whitworth. A lot of people didn't talk about that heading into this season, how big of a loss that was going to be. The 40-year-old, you would think.
Yeah, they're going to miss him.
The only 40-year-old you think that you would miss like that right now is Tom Brady, but that left side of the offensive line was exposed last night. So they definitely have some work to do. I'm sure Sean McVay and company will get it straight. But as for Buffalo, Bills Mafia, y'all feeling good today?
Yeah, I agree. That was a statement game they put on. Josh Allen looked great besides the 2 interceptions. One of them was kind of fluky where the ball kind of bounced out of the receiver's hand and the Rams defender made a great play, snatching it out. The second one was definitely on Josh Allen. The ball was a little bit behind him, kind of late with the throw. But other than that, man, they just looked great. The defense could do whatever they wanted. Ed Oliver, the D-tackle for the Bills, he got hurt. I think he hurt his ankle or something in the first half. And I was like, oh, is that going to impact their defense? I wonder if they'll be able to run the ball a little bit more. But no, they didn't really seem to miss a beat with him. I forgot the guy's name. I want to say Kyle Phillips, another D-tackle. He also had 2 sacks. I think there was one play where half the damn line was in on the sack. It was like a 3-person sack. You mentioned Von Miller with his 2 sacks. I'm not really too concerned about the Rams. I mean, it's the first game.
Yep.
Guys didn't play preseason, so maybe they're a little rusty. They still got to get in shape. So guys like Allen Robinson only getting 2 targets, 1 catch. I'm not too concerned with that. What I am kind of concerned with is the offensive line. They're saying that their starting center, Brian Allen, he's going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks with a knee injury. And the offensive line was shaky last night. So they're going to have their backup center going forward for the next 2 to 4 weeks. So I'm interested to see if they'll be able to clean things up, give Stafford some more time to throw the ball, open up some running lanes, because their running game was basically non-existent. Darrell Henderson, I think he rushed for about 47 yards on 13 carries. And one of those carries was like an 18-yard run. Cam Akers, he rarely played. When he did play, he had 3 carries for 0 yards, so he wasn't a factor at all. I know that had a lot to do with the Bills' defense. Their defensive line just could do whatever they want to the Rams' offensive line, and vice versa on the other side. The Rams' defense, their defensive line, they really couldn't get too much going on Josh Allen. I know Aaron Donald got a good sack in. They got a couple pressures on him, but for the most part, he was able to step up in the pocket or escape the pocket and make some plays. Or, as he mentioned, he did rush the ball. Was it 10 times, I think? He rushed the ball 10 times for 56 yards.
Yeah.
So he was able to avoid any danger for the most part. I wonder going forward, do you think they're going to utilize Josh Allen in the run game a lot? Because my impression is they'll probably have him on a pitch count as far as around 10 runs yesterday. I want to say about 60% of those were design runs. So I think going forward, they'll do something like that. But he was taking some hits. I remember me and you were texting yesterday, okay, I said they should probably take him out now.
Yep.
6 or 7 minutes left, 31-10. But they kept him in there, and, he seemed to come out unscathed.
Yeah, I think as far as the design plays and everything for Josh Allen, I mean, I know the one play for the touchdown, he's led the league in quarterback rush touchdowns, I believe, since he came in the league in 2018. But, you have Devin Singletary there, you have James Cook. I think that they should rely on the running backs more, and if he has to get out of the pocket and just, happens to get yardage out of it, happens to get plays out of it, take it. But, you talk about an MVP caliber quarterback, you don't want him running around like that, even though he is capable of doing it. He has the receivers out there that can catch the ball. It's not like he don't have playmakers around him. Again, the running backs. How about the coaches on the Buffalo sideline? I mean, we've seen them have games like this last year, but it's been against mediocre teams. We talk about the Rams coming off a Super Bowl championship. Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier. I know that's one thing they mentioned in the broadcast. I think it was Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico. They were surprised that Leslie Frazier didn't get a coaching job after their season last year.
Mm-hmm.
But not always did the coordinators get a lot of praise, and they really shut this Rams team down. But what about Allen Robinson? What do you think needs to be done to get him more involved? We talk about 2 targets for 12 yards on 1 catch.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't get an end zone. And then you had Higbee with 11 targets, Cooper Kupp with 15 targets. Of course, he's going to get his catches and his targets. But how do you feel about Allen Robinson? Because he just came over from the Bears.
I just think they need a little bit more time. I'm not too concerned about it. The first game, the Bills just put up a really good defense. I think that addition of Von Miller, I didn't really expect him to play that well yesterday because it seemed like he got all his juice back. Like, I know he was dealing with injuries his last couple of years in Denver. And then he did turn it on at the end of last year for the Rams. Man, he looked like he was still in his prime last night. So I just think that, along with the back end of the Bills defense, Jordan Poyer, those guys back there doing their thing, I just think he just needs more time to get, associated with the offense, and him and Matt Stafford need to get a little bit more chemistry. I'm not really too concerned about him. I do think the new coordinator, OC for the Bills, he was a quarterbacks coach like the previous 3 years. He caught a great game, though. I do think that. I think Dorsey, I believe his name is. Sorry if I got that wrong.
Good to hear. Yeah, Buffalo, again, Thursday night game, took 1-0 on the season. They lead their division. They lead the conference. They lead everything right now. The only undefeated team at the moment. Of course, everybody's playing on Sunday. So there's a new starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Tomorrow, as they travel to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears, Trey Lance is now the guy for the 49ers as he'll face off against Justin Fields. Chicago also has a new head coach and some new protection for Fields after claiming offensive tackle Alex Leatherwood off of waivers from the Las Vegas Raiders. What intrigues you the most about this game, Ed?
Okay, so I'm looking at this game from a couple of different perspectives because I got one guy on my fantasy team, Deebo Samuel. So I'm looking to see how he's going to do just from a fantasy perspective. But on the other side, I'm interested to see how Trey Lance will look and Justin Fields. Justin Fields, they got a new head coach, Eberflus. So I want to see what they're going to do with Justin Fields. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm still not sold on Justin Fields. All I've seen from him so far, I don't know if he's going to be the quarterback of the future. Hopefully he can prove me wrong, but I just don't know. As far as Trey Lance, I've seen a couple flashes from him, but they still got Jimmy G. And honestly, I could see Trey Lance either due to injury or just poor play, them putting Jimmy G back in the starting lineup and see how that goes. But those are the main things I'm looking forward to, how Deebo Samuel is going to look and how both these quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks, are going to look going to their second season. What about you?
Absolutely. I'm going to go on the Deebo Samuel train as well. How would that, obviously he was a little disgruntled during the offseason, reports say, with his role with the team. So now with a young quarterback coming in with his first year, first year starter, second year, how will the offense pan out? How will Shanahan have Deebo Samuel involved in the offense? Will he be more out wide? Will he still be in the backfield? All that kind of stuff. Of course, they have, was it Brandon Ayuk still out there?
Yeah.
I believe. And of course, Kittle.
Yeah, George Kittle.
And then again, on the Chicago side of things, Justin Fields, I agree. We don't know what to expect from him. He was in and out of the lineup last year. Will he be the guy? We've seen so many starting quarterbacks coming out of Chicago, so that also plays a factor into it.
Yeah.
They trade away the number one receiver. They let him hit free agency. Of course, he played on Thursday night, Allen Robinson. So how will that offense look? New head coach. Yeah, it's a lot going on in this game. It'll be very interesting to see who comes out on top. I mean, I think I'd pick the 49ers right now, but it could go either way just because, a lot of games I've noticed in Chicago against NFC opponents are close. Yeah. I've noticed the last couple of years too, outside of their division, just playing NFC opponents in Soldier Field, they tend to keep it close. So will they have enough there to get off to a good start and hopefully make some noise in the NFC North?
Yeah, you're right. Because I think Justin Fields had a relatively good game when they played the Niners last year. And you made a good point. I wonder if they are going to use Deebo Samuel the way they did last year, where they had him running the ball out the backfield. Because I know last year they had some injuries at running back, but now everybody's back and healthy again. So I'm wondering if they're still going to utilize Deebo as a running back as well. We'll find out though. So going on to the next game, Chiefs and the Cardinals also battled this weekend. Kyler Murray has a new but familiar face at wide receiver, Marquise Hollywood Brown, who's had some issues this offseason, put it that way. While Patrick Mahomes will begin his first season without Tyreek Hill. Kickoff is set as 4:25 Eastern Time Sunday. Which QB do you think has the best chance to succeed this year? And how do you look at this game?
Man, I got to go with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's just proven it more. He's been to a Super Bowl. Sorry, he's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won an MVP. The guy can basically do it all out there on the field. Nobody has any doubts with him besides the fact that this will be the first year without Tyreek Hill. But they did draft Sky Moore in the second round. I've been very high on this guy after watching the highlights. He looks like he has Tyreek Hill's speed. He looks like he has his ability to shake defenders, all that kind of stuff. He still has Kelsey out there. He still has the running back and Edwards-Helaire. And, of course, the coaches and coordinator as well is still there for Kansas City. And then the defense has been improved during the offseason as well. They got a little bit younger on the back end. So they'll be able to make some plays and hopefully, for Kansas City fans, get back to normal on defense. Kyler Murray, I like him, but I've been very adamant this offseason of what can we expect from him as far as, obviously Hollywood's going to be playing in this game. Still a possibility he might be suspended moving forward. We talk about the offseason issues. He is without DeAndre Hopkins, and he lost his number 3 receiver, his slot receiver, and Christian Kirk went to free agency to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So plus on defense, they lost Chandler Jones. We don't know what to expect out of JJ Watt. So yes, a little bit more questions with them. Definitely, I believe Patrick Mahomes, no-brainer is likely to have the more success this year. But I know you've been, I think you picked Kyler Murray as your MVP candidate. So
yeah, I got him as a dark horse MVP. I just think he has some stuff to prove now that he's got his new contract. I think he's a great dual threat type of guy. He can throw the ball, sling it in the air, but he also got some wheels on him and will take off and make some big plays with his legs. So I think he has a chance to make some things happen and become MVP, especially when he gets DeAndre Hopkins back. As far as his game, I'm thinking the Chiefs will win it probably.
Yep.
But I am interested to see how Hollywood Brown will look with Kyler Murray. I wonder if that'll, unlock some more talent out of him, or if he'll have some growing pains in the beginning of the season. I mean, they still got James Conner in the backfield as well for the Cardinals. So I think they'll put up a fight. I think they'll be able to counteract whatever the Chiefs do on defense. And this will be a high-scoring game, but I'm going with the Chiefs right now. I'm going to say 38-31, something like that. I think it's going to be high-scoring. I think Mahomes will come out the gun running. I do want to see who's going to be the top dog at receiver, though. Is it going to be Juju? Is it going to be McCole Hardman? Is Sky Moore going to just come out as a rookie and, do his thing? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this game.
All right. So, yeah, that is going to be on, again, Sunday afternoon at State Farm Stadium. That is the host site of the next Super Bowl. Lions fans, they're hoping to go from the bottom of their division to a team that finally makes some noise. But up first, the Philadelphia Eagles are coming to Ford Field looking to start their season on a high note. Ed, you're familiar with the Eagles. Do you fear Philly, or do they just have a great roster on paper?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm scared as hell of the Eagles, man. I really am. The only thing that's kind of like I don't know about is Jalen Hurts. But other than that, I think they got a great team on paper, as you mentioned. And they still got a good defense. They got Fletcher Cox. He's always been a problem for anybody. They got this other guy. He's a rookie, I think, or second-year player. His name escapes me at the moment, but I've been seeing him doing his thing in preseason. I think that D-line is going to be causing a lot of people trouble. I hope Jared Goff gets a good night's sleep Saturday night going into Sunday, because he's going to be running for his life, I think. I think the Eagles will win this game. I do want to see how Aiden Hutchinson looks for the Lions, if he can make any impact on defense right away. And another year of development for Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Lions as well. But I think the Eagles should win this game. I do think Jalen Hurts, though, is going to get on the hot seat because what is this, his third season, I believe. So, make it or break it year, man.
True.
What you going to do? You going to show up, lead them to the playoffs, or are you going to be up and down, inconsistent, and make them draft another guy? We'll see what happens, but I got the Eagles winning this game. What about you? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I got the Eagles as well. They got so much talent across the board. I doubt that they'll drop this one against the Lions coming off a 3-13-1 season last year. Lions been in the bottom of the cellar for several years now. Eagles, you name it, it seemed like every week they was adding somebody out there. They just added the corner from the Saints. Was it CJ Gardner-Johnson, I believe? In the draft, they got 2 guys out of Georgia. They bring that championship pedigree there. Again, I agree. You go back to the whole Jalen Hurts situation. Everything is on his shoulders, it seems like, heading into this year. They have the run game. They, at some point, at least 6 games in a row, they rushed over 200 yards per game last year. Of course, he was part of that. But, we know they got the run game. You get A.J. Brown in there. You still have the Devontae Smith going to his second year. You have the tight end as well. I can't remember the guys. Thank you, Dallas Goedert. So he has all the pieces in place to be successful, and the defense should help him a lot.
Yeah.
So they definitely, the Eagles should go very far. I would be afraid of them as well, but they're going to have their hiccups because with any team that puts together a bunch of pieces like this, at some point during the season, they will have the hiccups, but they do start with a very favorable schedule. They open with Detroit and I believe at Minnesota the following week, or at home for Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I'm definitely going with the Eagles in this game. No brainer. I'm not going to say I would be shocked if the Lions will win, because I don't think that they will.
Gotcha. All right then. So Miami has been successful against the Patriots over the years in South Beach. This time the Dolphins have a new coach, Mike McDaniel, and Tyreek Hill at wide receiver to go along with Jalen Waddle. Can Tua get it done with the talent around him, or will your boy Mac Jones get the job done? How do you think he'll look in year 2?
Man, I think Tua can get it done.
Really?
The pressure is on him.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% confident in him, but I think he can get it done. He has no excuses this year either, with Tyreek Hill out there and Jalen Waddle, 2 of the fastest receivers, 2 of the fastest guys in the league. Mac Jones, I still think they need to put more around him. He has the Belichick factor, so you're automatically going to be decent. Well, should be decent coming with them. I think the thing with him, I've also preached on, is the fact that Josh McDaniels left. And even though they have pretty much the same offense, going from year 1 to year 2 as a starting quarterback is not good when you lose your offense coordinator, head coach. There are some ramblings out of New England of, who's going to be calling the plays. It was confusion during the preseason. It seemed like it was a little bit of turmoil in there, but I think that Belichick and company will have that straight come Sunday. I'm going to go with the Patriots in this game. I would not be surprised, though, if Miami wins, just because they are very successful against the Patriots down in South Beach. What about you?
I still kind of looking at Miami a little funny just because of the whole Brian Flores situation.
True.
But they did add Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle had a promising rookie year, so he should make another leap his second year. I don't know about Tua, man, because there was rumors that they were trying to get after Tom Brady, and I think they got a little bit of trouble because of that. So I don't even think the Miami sold on Tua, honestly.
Yeah.
But like you said, make it or break it year for him. I'm gonna give them the edge, though. I think like you mentioned that Miami has been having success against Patriots in South Beach. I just think that trend will keep going. Like you said, Mac Jones and the off weapons he has around. I do like Ramondre Stevenson and the other running back, I forget his name, Damian Hill, I think his name is. Damian something. Sorry, fam. So. I don't know, man. I think Miami's defense should still be, competent, and they shouldn't I don't think they'll let Mac Jones pick them apart. From what I've seen most last year, he was dinking and dunking. He didn't really air it out that much. So I think Tua and Miami should get the job done against the Patriots. I'm hoping so anyway, because you know how I feel about Mac Jones. I was like,
Yep.
oh God, please give me a break, everybody. He's the next coming to Tom Brady. Like,
Yeah.
okay, come on, let's stop it.
Ed is
So,
not a
yeah.
big fan of mac and cheese.
Yeah. No offense, Mac Jones. You know, you do your thing, but guys, it's not you. It was more of the media.
Yep.
You know, you became a media darling. I was like, come on, give me a break. So, you know, maybe you'll shut me up. We'll see. Good luck to you.
Got you. All right. New England Patriots and Miami Dolphins. That is a 1:00 Eastern time kickoff on Sunday from Hard Rock Stadium in South Beach. Turning the page to the two-time reigning MVP Aaron Rodgers, him and his Packers will start the season on the road again. Last year, the Packers were destroyed by the Saints in their opener. This year, they start off against their division rivals, the Minnesota Vikings. Former commander Kirk Cousins is back with the Vikings. With the loss of Devontae Adams for Green Bay, will the Vikings finally step over the Packers in the NFC North?
They had some success against the Packers in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And Kirk Cousins, for some reason, he usually shows up to play against Green Bay. I don't know if it's just like just a moment for him and he always sees it. But I think they have a good chance of beating the Packers coming out, just because I don't know how the offense is going to look with the loss of Devontae Adams. Who's going to be the number one? Because I'm hearing Alan Lazard is
he's questionable, I believe.
Yeah. So who knows? That was like the most him and Randall Cobb. Those are the two guys who were like most useful and that Aaron Rodgers had a good chemistry with. Then you got Sammy Watkins coming in. He always has injury concerns. And you got Romeo Doubs and the other rookie Christian Watson. Yep. I'm not sure. They still have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. And those are good 1-2 punch at running back. So Aaron will have some weapons. I just don't know if it'll be enough, because the Vikings, they have Zadarius Smith now. Yep. And I think he is going to want to – I think he might be like Von Miller and come out there and get 2 sacks against his former team. And then you got Justin Jefferson. He's a freaking stud going into his 3rd or 4th year. And, Adam Thielen, even though he's kind of declining, if you look at his stats, I think he had about 10 touchdowns last season. So, that's a reliable number 2 right there as well. So I think I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think I just talked myself in to picking the Vikings over the Packers for this game. What about you? How you feel about this?
Yeah, I like the Vikings. I mean, they've always had a strong defense. You talk about on offense, Kirk Cousins with Jefferson, Thielen and company, the running back Cook out there. They'll definitely give Green Bay some problems. Obviously, Green Bay is thin at receiver. We talk about Lazard is questionable. Hopefully he gets out there and play. Devontae Adams is long gone by now. So they're going to need to rely on the running game, I believe, in this game to kind of play keep away, because, Minnesota can score in the nick of the dime when Kirk Cousins and company are on a roll. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a night and day with them. So, again, they need to probably run the ball more to keep the ball away from Minnesota. I'm going to go with Green Bay. I believe it'll be a close game, but I'm going to go with Green Bay. Even though I did see something this morning. I think Aaron Rodgers is 2-2 against Minnesota over the last couple of years. They shocked them last year, I believe, in Minnesota. I believe it was middle of the season, late in the season. So yeah, I'm going with Green Bay. I hope they don't open the season like they did last year, because I mean they should have beat the Saints last year in that game, but I mean everything just looked terrible in that game. They do, though. Green Bay typically lose the first or the second game of the season. I've noticed that about them, especially recently. So we'll see how it goes. Division game, it can go either way, just like any other game, but division game, obviously Minnesota knows them. They know the Vikings as well. So I'm going to still go with the Green Bay Packers and the 2-time defending MVP.
All right. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. So coaching changes are typical every year, but this year there are 10 new leaders making their debuts for this weekend. Let's discuss these new faces, in some cases familiar faces in new cities. We got Houston. We got Lovie Smith going there. Doug Peterson's in Jacksonville now. Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas. Todd Bowles is in Tampa Bay. Dennis Allen's with New Orleans. Nathaniel Hackett's with Denver. Mike McDaniels with Miami. Kevin O'Connell's with Minnesota. Brian Daboll's with the New York Giants. And Matt Eberflus is with the Chicago Bears. Which of these coaches do you think landed in the best situation And which guy do you think will lead their team to the playoffs?
I think the best situation is Dennis Allen just getting a step up from defensive coordinator to head coach. You talk about Jameis Winston coming in. He was 5-2 as a starter last year. He went down with injury. Still got Alvin Kamara as of now, pending a possible suspension. Mark Ingram. You bring in Jarvis Landry. Mike Thomas should be back soon. And then on defense, you get the Honey Badger. You know, you still got Cam Jordan out there on defense. They've had a pretty stout defense as well. So I'm going to go with Dennis Allen in New Orleans as far as the best fit. The coach, I believe, that will take his team to the playoffs. This is very easy. You know, I got to take the easy one out of this. It's Tampa Bay and Todd Bowles. I mean, they were set up for success. You know, nobody thought that at least that late into the offseason that Bruce Arians was going to step down or, you know, go into the front office and the team was going to get turned over to Todd Bowles. We thought that Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich would be gone and they would be on this list as new coaches in new cities. So for him to still have Leftwich, of course, to have Brady and all of the guys on offense, they pretty much bring back the same roster on defense as well. You know, this team has been pretty much together since the Super Bowl. You know, they did lose Gronk, but, you know, Gronk was getting a little long in the tubes. So that, I believe, is the best fit myself. So what are your thoughts on the guys calling the shots and who's in the best spot for the immediate success?
I'm going to say the best spot is Nathaniel Hackett in Denver because, you know, they got Russell Wilson coming over and he's, you know, he's a pretty good quarterback. He's not too bad. I think that combination, Russell Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett in Denver, that team together will make some noise in AFC West, even though it's a really powerhouse division. I think they'll be good enough to make some things happen and possibly make the playoffs. As far as a team that I think will lead their team to the playoffs, I'm gonna go with Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. You know, last year there was some talks that Kirk Cousins and the former coach didn't really get along too well. I don't think the coach trusted Kirk Cousins too much. Yeah, and I can't really blame him because, you know, one day Kirk Cousins looks like a world beater, perennial Super Bowl threat, and the next day he looks like a guy who should be holding a clipboard on a bench. So you never know. But maybe Kevin O'Connell can, you know, unlock whatever that thing is that Kirk Cousins brings out some of the time. Maybe he can unlock that and bring it out consistently. So I'm gonna go with Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell because he's got Justin Jefferson and he's got Dalvin Cook, who I failed to mention earlier. I think he has the weapons around him to make some noise happen. And, you know, the NFC North is usually Green Bay or Minnesota. Chicago, the last couple of years, hasn't really shown anything. And Detroit, you know, it's always a dark cloud around them. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell as a team to lead their team to the playoffs. And Nathaniel Hackett in Denver is a coach landed the best situation.
Got you. All right, football fans, thanks for joining us again. Now there's nothing else left to do but go make your game picks, check your fantasy roster, and watch the remaining 14 games on the slate on Sunday. And, of course, the Monday night football game, we have Russell Wilson heading back to Seattle in the Pacific Northwest to take on his Seattle Seahawks. Enjoy week 1, everyone.
See ya.
You've been listening to the latest episode of the B&E Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Podcast B&E.